What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I got my first hate comment. So I just thought it would be good to read it to you guys. So I'm just going to read it off. It was a pretty long one. The guy really, there was a lot here. I'll put it up for you real quick just so you can see it. It's like 2 pictures worth. Okay, so now we'll get into it. Not only am I going to go over the hate comment, but show you guys hey, how I kind of I guess I process stuff, and how, you can kind of help yourselves to not really get upset over hate comments and stuff like that. Okay, so let's get into it. So his opening line, first name is obviously up there, Bryce Vegas. So he lives in Vegas, probably. So that's pretty cool. I do too. So he goes, wow, I don't know if you think you're helping someone else, but I'm sure your therapist told you if you talk about things, it will help. So he kind of starts with a negative. I don't know if you think you're helping someone, but the second part was pretty positive, right? Your therapist told you it's good to talk about things, which that is definitely true. So obviously, when I first read that, I'm like, okay, I don't know if that was super negative or not, because he ended it with a compliment, so I'm like, let me keep reading. And then he goes, with that being said, taking a hint from a girl is not that difficult to figure out. Possibly for you it is. So now I know it's a negative comment, right? It's definitely negative at this point, right? So with that comment specifically, right, I'll actually just address it later on. I kind of want to get through the rest of it because I'll kind of wrap up with that one. So I'll get back to that. But then he goes, you asking a girl out, then telling her to watch your videos about asking girls out is probably not a great idea. I actually agree with that statement. I didn't actually send her a video of me asking girls out, but just the premise of after we had, had that exchange where she was not interested in dating me at all, right? I could have waited a couple days, right, for everything till I kind of go over, and then send her my video and say, hey, I got a new video up. I think because I sent the video right away, it's kind of perceived as throwing it in her face kind of thing. It's not really my intention, but that one definitely can improve on that. Next one. And he goes, and then not being able to pick up clues that she's not interested in dating you only makes you look like a creeper. Well, that's more of an opinion statement, right? Some people will think that is, some people won't, right? So at that point, and that's why I wanted to kind of address that first part at the end, because he kind of goes over it 3 or 4 different times. So then he goes, when you turn around and ask her to watch your videos after asking her out twice, making her tell you twice she's not interested, so you've made her uncomfortable, she probably was, and then you want to push her videos at her too, right? So again, he's kind of reiterating it, and then he goes, my favorite line of all, he goes, come on bro, take it from a guy who's been laid. Maybe it'll happen one day. I can always get a hooker, right? Those are only a couple $100. Come to think of it, actually, I just had my last closing, so I've got a lot of money, actually. I can get a couple, and then, a couple of them. Not at the same time, that would not go good well, but, and then I'd be good at it, right? So, obviously, he's trying to get at me, but it doesn't really work. Let me continue, though. Oh my gosh. My coworkers know how funny that is, because I actually joke about that all the time, and they're like, you're so stupid, you just stop. But anyways. And then he goes, girls don't like that shit. Maybe you should do videos of Mandela effects. I don't really know what that is. Or fake moon landing. I think you'd get a better response. So there, obviously, he's trying to make fun of the fact that nobody really watches my videos. But again, because I know what my videos are for, right? Again, this is not a channel that helps guys hook up with girls and get girls and talk to girls. That's not really what this channel is about. So he's mistaken in the fact that he thinks that I'm doing this channel for views and trying to make money off of it, right? He's confused because that's what he thinks, but that's like a general, thought process, I think, is most people think when someone has a YouTube channel, they're doing it for money and stuff. So I don't really blame him for it or anything. I'm not mad at him. It's just he's wrong in his assumption, because this channel is not that. This channel is about helping people who have depression and anxiety. So let me be the first to tell you, being better with girls and hooking up with more girls will not solve that problem. I know some of you out there may think it will, but it won't solve the problem, right? Just like there's some girls out there that may think that once they get a man who's nice and respectful, it'll solve the problem, but it won't solve the problem, because what'll happen is you'll be in a relationship with someone who's positive, supportive, but you still have your own negative thoughts that you're going to have to work through. And with those negative thoughts, you are going to put yourself constantly in a position, in a situation where your boyfriend's going to have to talk you out of that negative thing. Now, it's great when you have that person in your life that could talk you out of it, but I think you can, if you know people that have thought that before and then gotten the boyfriend or the girlfriend, it could be opposite, right, that has been supportive, I think they would tell you as well that, hey, the negative thoughts don't really go away. It's just helped out by the fact that the other person is so positive and supportive. But you have to work on you to kind of really take care of those negative thoughts and really eliminate those. And then he finishes with, and it wouldn't, he said, it wouldn't make you look like a perv, even if you are or not. Doing that makes you sound and look like one in the average woman's eyes. And then he finishes with the best finishing line ever. It's not for me to judge, but good luck. So after he's judged me on literally every single thing in the entire video, then he finishes with, it's not for me to judge. You have to love people. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Right? So the reason why I wanted to save that first part for last was I knew when she had told me she's not interested in dating that was a lie, right? I understood that just meant she didn't want to date me. But I have a YouTube channel, and I wanted to do this for the YouTube channel, right? I wanted to question her in a effective way, right? Like, I'm just questioning exactly what she told me, right? So we could see that it's not that she's not interested in dating, and that she just didn't want to go out with me, but because of the way it is, right? You're not going to get her to be an effective communicator with you, right? Even though I'm communicating effectively, you just won't get the other person to do it. Now, a lot of times, sometimes as guys, right, we'll say like, oh, well, why can't she just do this or this or this? But you're just not understanding from her perspective either, right? The reason why I didn't get mad is I already knew what she was doing, but I understand kind of why girls do that, right? They do that because if you're a girl, right, and you're hot, you get messages from guys a ton, right? It's like non-stop, right? Especially now. You don't even need an online dating profile. They'll message you from Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter. You can't escape, right? So that is just it's just a way for them to reply to where you don't have to worry about talking more, right? So she found a way by saying, I'm not currently dating, that works effective with most guys where they'll just stop messaging, right? I'll bet you when she first started getting asked that question, she was probably answering it like, oh, no, thanks, I'm not attracted. And then you get the guys that don't stop and say, well, what do you mean? Am I not good enough or this or this or this, right? And they keep talking. So as a girl, you're just trying to get the guy to stop talking, and you realize that that's the best way, right? Just like when you approach a girl and she says, oh, I have a boyfriend. Well, she doesn't always have a boyfriend, but it's the best way to get the person out and to not talk, right? Whereas you say, oh, I just don't want to date you. Then you have to, if you're a girl, you potentially have to answer more questions of, well, why not? Am I not good enough? Right? So, and we all do this, actually. Every person in the world does this, right? If you read the book, Power of Habit, you realize that, I haven't read it in a while, but there's something like 80% or more of our entire lives is on autopilot, right? Once we learn something, You do like in this autopilot response, right? Has there ever been a time where you're driving home and you don't really remember driving home, right? It's because you've made that drive hundreds of times. You don't really realize it. Your brain just knows which way to go, and you kind of just are on autopilot and you just go do it. And it's the same way with this situation, right? If you've been asked out for so many times, if you're a girl, you just respond in the best way. With that, I just wanted to kind of explain it, right? I understood what was going on, right? I knew that she didn't want to go out with me, but I have a YouTube channel, so I just kind of wanted to like get her to talk about that so then I can talk about it with you guys and show you that, hey, like, in one instance she said my YouTube videos were great and, you know, I had good content, but then when I ask her out, make her feel a little uncomfortable because I'm just trying to go out with her and she's not directly telling me no, she's being indirect, right? Now all of a sudden she's completely changed, right? Which is why I want to kind of do that video for you guys so you can kind of see it, right? And as you effectively communicate and you learn, right, as you start to do that, people will still do that, right? Like, you know, the reason why like it's not a channel for dating advice is because I understand that with dating advice, a lot of times you have to be able to, you know, be good at reading people and like their body language, not exactly what they're saying, because what they're saying a lot of times is not what's going on, right? They're a lot of times being passive aggressive, right? Maybe not telling you what they actually want, they're hinting, and then you have to understand and know what's going on. When you have depression and anxiety, that should be the last thing on your mind. You know, you have to focus on, you know, feeling better about yourself, not having the negative thoughts, understanding effective communication, so when you're communicating with people, you understand that what they're doing to you, you know, is because of them. It's not because of you. I understand how with depression, I had it, right? You feel like when people respond in a certain way, you feel the negative side of it as if it's your fault. You feel as if you're the reason that they're being negative, right? So if you're just gonna, you know, from my personal experience, right, when you're dating, a lot of times girls will be, you know, indirect in communication, right? And you're going to have to understand that when they're saying something, they might not mean that, right? They might want you to do something else, but they don't want to directly come out and tell you, right? But when you're trying to rid yourself of depression and anxiety, it's not a good idea to focus on that, because you're now trying to fight your own negative thoughts while the girl that you're communicating with is being indirect with you. Like, that just doesn't work. You have to be okay with yourself first, right? You can go watch other YouTubers, right? If you think that, you know, if you're trying to understand what I'm saying, go watch other YouTubers that have channels about getting girls. You'll hear it all the time. You have to listen for it, though. They're going to talk about when a girl says or does something, right? You just keep moving forward and you just don't let it affect you and you go. But you can only do that once you're no longer in your head, no longer thinking the negative, depressing thoughts. Which is why, like I said, I'm very clear on what this channel is and what it isn't. The last part I wanted to talk about, the reason why I wanted to read his comment is this works for not just hate comments on YouTube, right? This works for anything that's a negative, anything that's a hater, right? However you determine it. You really are the only one who determines whether that comment affects you or not, right? Clearly nothing he said affected me, right? Like, I'll probably just get a hooker tomorrow and I'll be good, right? You know, so clearly nothing he said bothers me. But it doesn't bother me because I already understand, like, not only is he coming from a place of, like, he's trying to, like, hurt my feelings, right? But I also understand where I am, and it doesn't bother me, right? Example I like to use, you were to tell someone who has six-pack abs, who's shredded, that they're in terrible shape, they're probably more than likely going to laugh at you. Well, why are they going to laugh at you? They're laughing at you because they know it's not true, right? Whereas when you tell someone who is out of shape that they're out of shape, they get mad and defensive. Well, why are they getting mad and defensive? You said the same thing to both people. The only difference is the person who's in shape, they know the work that they've put in, and they don't care what you think about them. They know where they are. Whereas the person who hasn't put in the work and hasn't put the time in, they feel bad because they know they could be doing work and working on their body to make it better, right? It's the only difference. But the person, what the person says to both people are the exact same, right? So it's your interpretation of what is being said that makes it negative or makes you take it to heart, so to speak, right? So again, nothing the dude said made me feel bad, right? Because I don't care, right? Like, in any comment, right? I don't care about his thought process on my YouTube channel. I know what my YouTube channel is about. I don't care about him making fun of me of like, I'm terrible at getting hints from girls, right? Maybe that is an area where I'm not great at, but I'm better than I was before, right? And I can always improve. But again, you can't really improve unless you put yourself in those social situations, right? Those of you out there have social anxiety, right? Your fear is you're going to say or do something stupid, but you can't get to the point of the people that are confident, right? The people that you look at that have the confidence. You don't get to those people. You can't be as effective as a communicator as them until you put yourself in hundreds and hundreds of those social situations, and then you no longer fear them, right? So again, I think this is a little longer of a video. Thank you so much again for watching the video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Love you.